A very good evening to you and welcome to Weekend Prime on this Saturday, the 19th day of November 2016. Wherever it is you're watching us from here in Kenya, across the continent and beyond, glad to have your company with us. My name is Sofia Wanuna. So the Kenya Film Classification Board has banned songs and stage names by musicians in Kenya that it considers to be obscene. Let's listen to what KFCB CEO Ezekiel Mutua had to say.
Kuna baadhi ya waimbaji katika nchi yetu hata stage names zao nipata wengine Ukambani, mmoja anajiita sijui Katombi, mwingine sijui Mahima, wengine sijui Vuzi ya Ungu. And when you look at the deeper meaning, because some of them are coded, they are simply pornographic, useless, obscene language that is not acceptable in our society. It adds no value at all.
Right, and that ban right there is forming the basis of our Saturday night poll tonight. We are asking you, do you support the blacklisting of musicians with stage names and songs that sound obscene? Do you support the blacklisting of musicians with stage names and songs that sound obscene? Tweet us at KTN News, at KTN Kenya, at Sofia Wanuna, or you can text in 22155. Would love to hear from you tonight. I'll be sampling your views towards the end of this live broadcast. The hashtag we're using tonight is strange stage names. Strange stage names is the hashtag to use as you tweet us tonight. Let's have a look at our top stories now.
National Super Alliance. It is brewing.
Opposition swears on Super Alliance as Ruto tells Kwale to come taste the honey.
They are simply pornographic, useless, obscene.
No obscene stage names or music, please. Film Classification Board draws the line. New report lays bare why Kenya is so angry with Ban Ki-moon. And daring in Burundi, how a Kenyan farmer is enjoying life of milk and honey in a foreign country.
Welcome to the show. Our sign language interpreter tonight is William Silla. Now, the Kenya Film and Classification Board has slapped a ban on the use of what it considers obscene stage names by musicians here in Kenya. The board CEO Ezekiel Mutua blacklisted 3 musicians from Ukambani whom he says use stage names that erode Kenya's moral standing. The ban adding to the long list of controversial directives issued by Mutua, who insists the music industry in Kenya is in dire need of taming. KTN's Timothy Otieno begins our bulletin tonight.
I came from Kisumu.
It is yet another day at the office for a man tasked with regulations affecting Kenya's music and film industry. This time, Ezekiel Mutua taking issue with the stage names artists are using to place their brand on the music map.
Kuna baadhi ya waimbaji katika nchi yetu hata stage names zao nipata wengine Ukambani, mmoja anajiita sijui Katombi, mwingine sijui Mahima, wengine sijui Vuzi ya Ungu. And when you look at the deeper meaning, because some of them are coded, they are simply pornographic, useless, obscene language that is not acceptable, of glorifying evil, objectifying women as just, objects of sex, and of glorifying sex and using sex as a way of popularizing your music. I think it's lack of creativity.
The board, because I think people nowadays are going overboard.
Mimi naunga Ezekiel Mutua hiyo directive kwa sababu wanasanii wengine watakuwa wanapoteza jamii.
In my opinion, that is not fair. People should be given their freedom of speech. And also the naming is just a very small issue.
The board hopes to rein in on errant artists who, according to Mutua, are giving Kenya a bad name on the global market.
It is in a name
Apparently a lot, according to the Kenya Film and Classification Board, who have given out an ultimatum to both established and aspiring artists to ensure that the stage names that they use to sell their music is the appropriate one. If not, then those blacklisted artists may see a very short music career. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
And remember to share with us your thoughts. Do you support that ban by the Kenya Film Classification Board at KTN News, at KTN Kenya, at Sofia Wanuna? Use the hashtag strange stage names. In other news, in Busia County, Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi and court member James Orengo vowed to ensure that the promised opposition National Super Alliance becomes a reality in order to oust the Jubilee team from power come next year. They were speaking during the burial of the Funyula Member of Parliament, Paula Tuama's son, Malcolm Mwanga.
2017 lazima iwe mwaka ambao mambo itabadilika. Na tunaongea kuna kitu kinaitwa NASA, National Super Alliance. It is brewing. Na hii NASA ndio tunataka inase wezi. Hii NASA ndio tunataka tunase wale wanaiba dawa za hospitali za kina mama. Hii NASA, National Super Alliance, ama muungano maalum ambao nataja, ndio tunataka tunase wale wanahudumu katiba ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo angalia yule yuko karibu na wewe, muangalie kwa uso sahi na muulize, wewe unataka kunaswa ama unasi?
Now, the allegations of corruption at the Kilifi County government have quickly turned into a political war between Jubilee and court leaders, threatening to overshadow not just the original graft scandal in Kilifi, but also other cases under probe. Today, residents who appeared to be supporters of Governor Amason Kingi took to the streets, telling the Jubilee administration to weigh fast which was the biggest scandal between the one in Kilifi County and the National Health Audit. Duncan Hayemba now reports.
Ukisikia kwamba mapesa mabilioni imepotea hapa Kilifi, serikali ya Kilifi lazima iwajibike.
That was Deputy President William Ruto's directive on Thursday regarding the alleged embezzlement of 51 million shillings by Kilifi County government officials. A matter that has seen a section of Malindi residents fight back.
Sisi wakazi wa Kilifi tunataka kuijulisha serikali ya walanyama kwamba si wanyama wote ambao wana nyama ya kuliwa. Na kama wao wanakula nyama, kumbe nyama ni kodi ya Mkenya anayolipa, basi wajue come 2017 it won't be business as usual.
Mheshimiwa Rais Uhuru ameshindwa kudhibiti ufisadi na yeye ajiuzulu kabisa.
They accuse the national government of using the 51 million query to fight a political war for ODM rebels from Coast Region who have since joined the Jubilee Party.
Serikali kuu imeshindwa kuwajibika. Manake ni kazi yake iwajibika kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna ufisadi unatendeka katika taifa letu la Kenya. Tulianza na NYS ikapotea. Tukaja pesa ya El Nino ikapotea. Tumekuja ya afya imepotea. Eurobond imepotea. Tunataka serikali ya Uhuru ielewe kwamba italazimika ku-audit, kutoa hesabu ya mali ambayo imeporwa na viongozi waliomo katika serikali ya Jubilee.
A fight that seems to have been started by Kilifi Woman Representative Aisha Jumwa together with Taita Taveta Senator Dan Mwazo.
Mheshimiwa naibu wa rais ni lazima aanze kufagia nyumba yake kwanza kabla hajafagilia mwingine.
We would want with the same interest, with the same energy, the DP is focusing on Kilifi matters to also focus in his own government.
The war of words that has seen Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen take former devolution CS Anne Waiguru head on as pressure mounts to have him and the aide to Deputy President Farouk Kibet appear before Parliament's PSC committee.
Niko tayari na I am itching, my fingers are itching for Parliamentary Accounts Committee to call me, for me to write my statement, because I am ready to appear before men on earth and God in heaven to answer for every question. Lakini Waiguru akuwe tayari siku yenye atapelekwa kotini ajibu makosa yake, na akuwe tayari pia apelekwe kamiti akipatikana na hiyo makosa.
Already National Assembly's health committee is mired in a storm as some members push for the removal of their chair, whom they accuse of frustrating investigations into the alleged 5 billion scandal at the health ministry. Duncan Hemba, KTN.
You're watching Weekend Prime here on KTN News. Thank you so much for staying with us. Before we go to break, let me remind you our Saturday night poll. Tonight we are asking you whether you support the blacklisting of musicians with stage names and songs that sound obscene. And of course, this ban has been put in place by the Kenya Film and Classification Board. Tweet us your thoughts at KTN News, at KTN Kenya, at Sofia Wanuna. Stay with us. We'll be back with more news, including Daring Abroad. Welcome back to Weekend Prime. Let's go to the Kenyan coast, and rising cases of school dropouts have yet again brought under the spotlight. Now, many young people continue to squander their lives in drug abuse and prostitution. The beaches particularly making a favorite destination for many who find ways of making easy money rather than advancing in schooling. But where did the rain start beating the region deemed the cradle of formal education in Kenya? Well, KTN's coast reporter Francis Ontomo has sought to find those answers.
The year was 1846 when German missionary, the late Johann Ludwig Krapf, opened doors to Kenya's first school at the remote town of Rabai in Kilifi, Isaac Nyondo Primary School, named after the first Christian convert in Kenya. Rabai came to be known as the nerve of Kenya's education. Several decades later, however, nothing can convince you that this was the cradle of formal education in the country.
Kuna wazazi wamejitahidi, kuna watoto wamejitahidi, lakini umaskini ndio umechangia sana.
Cases of school dropouts continue to increase, and no better place to do your spot check than at the beaches. I meet a group of youth between the ages of 20 and 26. Desperation has pushed them to seek solace here. Drug abuse and poverty have largely been blamed for the dwindling education standards here in the coast region. For instance, many youths squander their lives here at the public beaches, all in an effort to try and eke out a living.
Nilisoma Dr. Krapf, nikamalizia form 4, nikapata kazi kwa hotel fulani huko Ukunda huko as animator nikafanya, lakini sasa ngana maisha na hapa na hapa, wageni wakapungua, ndo kabidi sasa tupunguze kwa ile hoteli. Ndo sasa tulikuja kuhustle huku tena kwa beach.
Since he dropped out of school a decade ago, his life has been something else. At just 20, Simbu Munga is now a father of one, and his dream of becoming an engineer, almost a forgotten dream. He works as a beach boy.
Mimi nilifika standard 7 brother, kwa bahati mbaya nzuri ile shule siwajua kapata mtoto kabidi ambo na kusoma nikakaa cancel.